class, this macro editor is kind of cool. What could I do to get myself, first of all, it gives me a set channel option because it's a TV proxy. Is there anything I need? Do I need to maybe slow down or change the minimum length or the interdigit delay? Maybe I'll slow it down a little bit more and then put this in, right? Down here I have all the code. So it's saying, well, okay, how do I get to the cable? Well, some TVs have their cables or their inputs enumerated from 0 to maybe 7, right? So you could do that. You could just toggle straight to a number 7 input, or if you knew that the channel up or some generic code set it to 0, you could put that in there. So I'm pulsing the channel up in hopes that the TV will go to the 0 input. And then what would I do if I knew that the cable was the 3rd input? Yeah, now I would just toggle the input twice, right? So we'd go over here to toggle input, and I would just pulse, right? What is it that I'm trying to do?
Land at the same spot every time.
Yeah, I want the homeowner to just go to the circle of power, watch, and choose what they want and have everything switch, right? And so I need to test that. And it really does depend on the manufacturer when you're making these drivers, how much success you're going to have there. What I've done too is I've put the toggle input onto the pound sign in the remote. Why?
So if it screws up, you guys.
So if it screws up, somebody for some reason got it out of sync and the system could never quite recover, you can just toggle till it's on the proper input and teach the homeowner that. That's your worst case scenario, okay? Most of the time, you get discrete inputs, and most of the time you'll be able to do this just fine. But I have seen some, off-market TVs that
You have to cycle through everything to get.
you got to cycle. I've even gone into the TV setups and turned off every other input. They still had issues. So. Okay, then we finally get to this point where we click next here, after we've done all this, and it says, hey, congratulations. Whoa! But guess what? It has not saved this to the hard drive. So what happens if I hit the close button up here?
You're not finished yet.
All your hard work is finished.
All my hour long that it just took me to capture and to do all that, lost. So because you're here in class, you folks have seen this. What do I need to do? I need to click finish and then click next. And it says, your driver has been saved to the hard drive. Now where did it put it?
Search tab.
Okay, so if we just go out to the file system here, let me take you to where it put it. Okay, under Documents, Control 4, there's a folder called Drivers. And these are where your C4I folders go. So when you buy a third-party driver, Jason, it'll come in the format of a C4I, and it will say, put it here. So you just, at the file system level, drag it into this folder.
And then will it show up in my
And
search?
then it'll show up under Local. So when you go to search, it'll come up.
Perfect.
Okay? So now I scroll down here, and there's that one that we did today. Now I'm just going to open this guy with Notepad so that you can see what we created. And if you're a good XML editor, that's all this is. So you could just do all your stuff in XML if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? It's so much easier. Don't even need our wizard interface. Okay, and can you forward these to other people? Like, could I just say, hey, sure, on the forum I've got that jar, I took time to map the codes, I'll forward it to you.
Sure.
Sure. And they'll do that for you. There you have it, boys. Any questions about what you've seen? Yeah, well, here's a good point. There is a manage drivers tool. This is a pretty cool feature. Under the driver menu, manage drivers, look at all these audio patch switch I have. I mean, who wants these component things on my hard drive, right? So I can go here. This is my local store that I'm looking at. And so I can come down, here's those Sonys. I can say, get off my hard drive, right? Now, what I can also also do here, say I'm gonna go out to that house and it doesn't have services yet, remember we talked about that? So I know I sell the Integra line of receivers. And I know it's a network one, we're gonna plug it into the network, that I know, but I forgot which model, what can I do here? I can add, I can choose the device type of being a receiver, right? So we choose, if I can get there, receiver, and then the manufacturer in
It's a DVD.
Integra, right?
It's your DVD.
Well, no, I'm just gonna search receiver Integra because I wanted to do the network driver ones. And so now I would just check the ones that say driver work network. See? And so in batch, if you will, I can pull all these down and just say, okay, notice they now copy down from the online database onto my local drive. They're in my local store now. And then I can come to them here. So here they are, and I can highlight these and click on this little, what does this my drivers do? Boop. I click here, and now it's added to my drivers list. So see them down here? And I'm all good to go. Don't have to do any lookup. I get to the house where we had a drop ship. I see what model it is, and I put the proper receiver on the controller. Oui? Clear as mud? All good? Hey class, one last thing I told you about, but I want to take you there. I'm going to go to dealer.control4.com. Oops. You need to be careful when you're in public and you type in an address string.
Why?
I'm going to tell you a story in just a half a second. What's going on here? Dealer.control4.com. So I'm out doing the tour in Chicago. Paul Rutz, none of you guys are from Chicago. You know our RSM named Paul Rutz out there. So I'm doing probably a pretty boring job on the tour. And Paul goes up and goes, hey Gordon, we got these new websites that the marketing's done for all the dealers. Right? And they gave you I don't know if you've heard of these microsites yet, but you guys you have tools that can help you market. So Paul was out there trying to show what a dealer had done using our tool set. And he typed in a porn site mistakenly. We got, 150 Chicago area dealers in a ballroom, and all of a sudden, up close, and it was one of those things where like 9 pop-up windows happened before.
Somebody that pop-up wanted.
Yeah. And, man, it was way embarrassing because every time he closed it, it was another. All right, so log in. This is the training login. So if I go here, under support, left-hand side, everybody see where I am? You go to support, and then you go to documentation here, which is right here. And then it'll take you, you'll see the software link, and then there's the various documents. This is what I was telling you about. These are fully indexed PDF files that exceed the scope of what's on your composer file for help. So if you really want to get into, more depth on stuff, you want to peruse through those, okay? I've shown you this now. So no more sleep problems, right? All of you guys are going to be very well rested now because you're going to know how to fall asleep reading this material.
Lovely.
Woohoo! Okay, we got through drivers. Let's take 5, class. No, what time is it?
Do us something.